Okay, welcome to the That's Good Sports podcast. Maybe you're new here, or maybe you keep coming back for our super intelligent football takes, or whatever we do here. I'm Brandon Perna with Will Keys. Hi, Will.
What's going on, Brandon?
Nothing. This is a football podcast.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a lot of football today. I wanted to talk about the Browns because they had a huge win last week. Stefon Diggs wants to be traded because Kirk Cousins is terrible, I guess. Jason Barrett still injured again, moving to IR. First London games this week. We've got offensive, defensive players of the month, and then we'll try to burn through some picks, some NFL picks for the games this week. And that's what they would say is the plan for the show.
It's what they call a little rundown. Yeah.
It's almost like there's a website that does a show called something similar that's way more successful.
I can't think of it.
Maybe I'm just making that up.
No. Yeah. No, can't. Anyway, I watched that 30 for 30 last night, the Four Falls of Buffalo.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
That's a great 30 for 30. It basically starts in 1990 when they lost their first Super Bowl on that wide right kick, and then all the way to the last Super Bowl they lost and everything in between. And I gotta say, like that's probably the saddest movie I've ever seen. More like sadder than like Philadelphia, Sophie's Choice, Requiem for a Dream. Sadder than all those movies.
You were just crying by the end of the 30 by 30?
It's sad, dude. When they interview Scott Norwood and he, like, starts choking up, it's like, God, dude. It's like he misses a kick a little bit. He misses, like, a 48-yard field goal on grass.
It was 48 yards, that kick?
Yeah. It was
not an easy kick.
No, especially back in the day. And, like, he has to live with that for the rest of his life.
Yeah, no, that sucks. What's the biggest mistake you've made that you've had to live with your whole life?
Jesus Christ. I don't know, scraping my car. Accidentally backing into someone.
Yeah. Something that doesn't haunt you every day.
Yeah.
Because you didn't win a game that means everything to so many people. It's crazy.
Yeah, but like after they came home to Buffalo after that game, and like they had not like a parade, but like everybody, like they talked to people downtown. Like they had a big podium and spoke to the crowd, and like they got Scott Norwood up there, and he talked like after that. It was just like
I'll have to watch
incredible how they like embraced him, but it's just so sad. It's so sad.
Bills have a good fan base. I think.
Yeah, after watching that, it's like maybe the best. Maybe the best.
And they've almost. I think. It's been long enough where they've been braced that those terrible losses have happened, and it's like,
yeah,
I can't say for sure because I don't know what was happening at Bills games in the 90s. We all know now because the internet, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like a galvanized group of fans, and they are going to be the least affected when their team doesn't perform every season. But like when the Bills do get into the playoffs, like after the 2017 season when they snuck in and lost to Jacksonville, like Bills Mafia, like that was at its height. So
yeah, and we're all rooting for it to happen again this year.
Yeah, I mean they started 3-0 and they played a hell of a game against the Patriots.
Right. Yeah, they held their offense to 9 points. Like if they don't have that punt block, that they might win that game.
Yeah, if they had.
Or if Josh Allen stops throwing into triple coverage.
Oh, my God. I watched a lot of that game, and I was like, fucking Josh Allen is terrible.
I know. Well, he's just one of those guys. Like, he's like early Jay Cutler a little bit, almost like super exaggerated version of him where he'll be really good for like 3 games in a row, and then he's just like he's got like 3 picks burning a hole in his pocket, and he can't help but get rid of them.
Yeah, and I think it's frustrating because when you're – the picks, he was doing the same thing. He was like scrambling, running backwards.
And he was doing it on first down. That's the worst part of it.
Throwing
like, God damn, dude. Live to fight another down, as they say.
Yeah, throwing off his back foot because he does have the arm strength, so he thinks he can get it there, and they're all underthrown, and they're all easily picked off by one of the best secondaries in the NFL too. It's
exactly
what I mean. I wish they would have used Frank Gore more in that game because he was having success, and but I mean, if you're a Bills fan, you got to be excited that you were that close in that game, and I think Matt Barkley's gonna start this week.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I'd rather have Josh Allen for sure, but I don't know if Barkley's a terrible option for a
concussion protocol, right? Oh, yeah, because he got fucking hit right in the face in that game.
Yeah, legally though. Because
it was
legal.
It was a legal one. Yeah, that game was good.
Had the Browns beat the Ravens, put up 40 on the Ravens. They're up. They won that game 40-25. They're up like 40-17 at one point. So
something like that.
Gore was not as indicative. Baker Mayfield had his comeback game by handing the ball off to Nick Chubb. He had a great game. He had like the biggest fantasy game of the week.
Nick Chubb, man.
But so we the whole question with the Ravens was, how are they going to play against competent teams, because they played the Cardinals and the Dolphins in week 1 and week 2. And the answer is not very well.
Yeah, the answer is the Ravens might have some defensive problems.
Well, it makes sense. They they lost Zadarius Smith. They lost Eric Weddle. I know they replaced him with Earl Thomas, but, Weddle's still an important part of that team. They lost C.J. Mosley.
Thomas has been getting burned on a lot of the big plays.
Yeah. I think Jimmy Smith's been hurt for a while.
Yeah.
So their identity's always been defense. They've got some stuff to figure out.
Yeah, the Zadarius Smith thing, I think, is probably the one the Ravens would like to have back. If they could redo the offseason.
C.J. Mosley back, because I know Mosley, in the one half he played with the Jets, looked like the best player on the field. And it's one of those things where you have a great defense and you pluck one player out and you can tell like he's still like he might have been the most important piece of that defense.
That's fair too, because probably next to Suggs. They lost Suggs. I think Mosley. I hate when people say he's the quarterback of the defense, but he was like the guy calling in the plays and shit, right?
Yeah,
I think.
Probably.
Yeah. So. I mean, it reminds me a little bit. You just look at Zadarius Smith and C.J. Mosley, and the Ravens didn't want to pay both of them, and they should have paid one. Should have paid one.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of like when the Broncos let Danny Trevathan and Malik Jackson go, instead of just fucking paying one of them.
You're not paying a quarterback. It's like Lamar Jackson's not making very much. I guess,
Right, and I don't know the
Mark Ingram, but
ins and outs of their cap situation or whatever.
No, don't bore it. Yeah, don't leave a comment boring us with the details and why they couldn't feasibly.
Yeah, because I think any team can make any money that they want work when their organization is. If it's top 15 in earnings every year, they can do whatever the fuck they want. If you're a bottom level team like the Chargers or even like the Jaguars, those organizations don't make as much money as the other ones, and that's why Jags will always have all this cap space because they can't spend all that money on their players like other teams can, even though there's a salary cap.
Yeah, it's like the Colts had the most cap space in the league last offseason, and they barely used any of it because it goes directly to Jim Irsay's
I know where you're going.
To every drug on earth.
I knew where you were going before maybe even you did.
It's going in the handbag of ladies of the night.
Tell me if I'm wrong here, but just by your face, it looked like you were debating how hard you should go in on that joke.
Correct. Yeah.
It looks like you go, do I bring up the drug thing?
I had to hit the brakes. Yeah.
I recognized your face because I think internally I ask myself that almost every script we write together.
Usually I'm the devil on one shoulder. And you have to clean up some of the stuff I write.
Every time I go to make a Tyreek Hill joke, I'm like, oh, do I do it again?
Oh, yeah.
Do I do it again?
There's that tweet I had to delete from the draft.
Oh, yeah. I get a lot of people who are like, have you looked into the Tyreek Hill situation? Have you seen the facts about it? I'm like, yeah, I read and listened to the same things you guys have, but I'm not a Chiefs fan, so I'm a little more eerie about completely forgiving his entire past because it's not as clear.
No.
It's pretty murky. It's pretty murky at the least.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do want to talk about Stefon Diggs because the disease that is this NFL season is every player wants to be traded when things aren't going exactly the way they want them to with the organization they're in.
Yeah.
And Diggs is a guy who he's been paid, right? And
they're 2-2.
Yeah, they're 2-2. He is unhappy. He can't be more unhappy than AJ Green is.
No.
Because there was that clip of AJ Green on the sideline that kind of went viral. And AJ Green's injured right now, but I get why Stefon Diggs would want to leave, I guess. Kirk Cousins is not playing well. But I guess my question is to you, where would you want to see Kirk Cousins or Stefon Diggs go?
Okay, so I've got 4 teams for you. And one that I want to see more than any other.
And let's just note, every team in the NFC North could use him, but I don't think the Vikings would trade him there.
Absolutely not. Yeah. So I've got the Seahawks make a little bit of sense, I think.
Ooh,
Although DK
like that.
Metcalf has been playing well, I think they'd rather have 3 receivers that they can trust with Lockett. The 49ers, I think you mentioned. I think that makes a lot of sense. Because, yeah, I think
because they just put their rookie on IR in San Francisco.
Right. Yeah. So they're fast at receiver, but they don't have they don't have a possession guy like Diggs.
Well, and Diggs, he's kind of interesting where he's a deep threat and he can play the slot, right? Like him and Adam Thielen can almost do the same things. That's why I feel like the Vikings have had a lot of success But
and by the way, like if I'm the Vikings, I'm absolutely not trading him.
No, unless you got like and they said, I think I read somewhere, it's like we would have to be like blown away by a trade offer.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to offer more than the second.
And every time a trade comes up, now it's like the Patriots going to get him. Patriots are going to.
That was my other team. Is the goddamn New England Patriots
They could use him, but they are not going to give – the Patriots don't give up a lot to get players. They wait until they can get Antonio Brown for pennies or Josh Gordon's on his last chance.
That always turns out well. Why can't the other 31 teams just agree not to trade with them? An embargo.
I don't know.
I think there's a word for it, collusion, which is new to the NFL.
Yeah, never had an issue with that.
Tried it, but I think they should give it a shot here with the Patriots. But my 4th team is the Indianapolis Colts. So I think he'd be an interesting guy to have opposite T.Y. Hilton because right now it's T.Y. Hilton who's injured last week. The big reason why they lost. Paris Campbell is a rookie. He's kind of a gadget player.
And he got hurt in that game too, I believe.
Right. And their second leading receiver with 6 receptions for 125 yards is Zach Pascal. So
never heard him.
I think they could use a little bit of help at wide receiver.
Yeah, and they probably have the money to do it. Well, I'm assuming Minnesota would have some giant fucking cap hit. Like there's going to be dead money or some bullshit that comes with a Diggs trade.
Yeah.
I guess a team's got to have draft picks to do that too, right?
They would.
I like the 49ers and I like the Colts in terms of need and teams that are good enough where I mean, like if you leave your 2-2 Vikings for the 3-1 Colts, like how
2-2 Colts.
much
They're also 2-2.
or sorry, yeah, 2-2 Colts.
Yeah, and they're about to play the Chiefs, so
you're gonna play yeah. And I don't think a trade's happening this week. I don't think.
No.
I would say like I don't think he's gonna get traded, but that is based just on the 25 years or so of NFL football I've been watching, but it is changing so quickly that I don't know. I could see him being traded tomorrow and
It's
me having to make an emergency video about it.
I hope not. It's definitely turning into the NBA in a few ways, and I don't know. There's people that like it that are just super pro player, and then there's a lot of guys who don't like people, getting traded, whenever they want, and they get labeled like pro team or anti-player, which I don't think it makes you anti-player to be pissed off that you start 2-2 and some of your best players are all of a sudden demanding out of there, like Jalen Ramsey and Stefon Diggs and all these guys.
I mean,
Barrett, obviously.
As a fan, you start to build like an identity with the team, a relationship with it. It's why, like, as a Broncos fan, this offseason, we might lose Emmanuel Sanders, we might lose Chris Harris Jr., we might lose Derek Wolfe, and it might be time to let some of those guys go to start to rebuild for the future. But I don't want to see any of those players go.
No, of course not.
Even if, like, I'm going to get the worst of them afterwards because I'm comfortable with those guys on the roster by now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm comfortable with Von Miller on the defense. Even when it's not in their best interest, selfishly, I want to feel good about the guys I know, and that's like
uncomfortable. Even though you know that someone's going to take their place, and you're not going to worry about it afterwards. You're not going to be thinking about it. No one's worrying about Demaryius Thomas right now because Cortland Sutton's playing really well.
Yeah, we're starting to see like, oh shit, he might be really good.
Right. And so there's usually, if you're a decent enough franchise, there's always someone coming up, unless it's like a really special player. That's why you gotta draw a line in the sand somewhere and say, all right, Chris Harris will let you go, Emmanuel Sanders, Derek Wolfe, but we're not getting rid of Von Miller, something like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're running the team. You got to have that fucking plan.
Yeah, the people that keep saying trade Von Miller after every loss are just the whiniest people on earth.
They are very whiny.
Already want Vic Fangio fired.
Oh, God.
Is it? Did the Broncos just have like an unusually whiny fan base, or is it every team?
I think it's
up there.
It's up there, but only with teams that are usually good. So, like, we were talking about the Bills earlier. They're not whiny because they've been beaten into submission and they have low expectations.
But they're still hopeful.
The Broncos had John Elway. Then they went through a downturn. Then they got Peyton Manning. They got 2 Super Bowl appearances, a Super Bowl win. And you just grow to expect that over and over again.
It's not how football works.
The NFL works. You're lucky to get those QBs.
Maybe
in another year or two, if it continues to be bad football, then they might be less whiny and maybe just more fun. But right now, very, very whiny.
Let's hope it doesn't get to that. Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's just people on social media. It's not the whole fan base.
No, it's true. That's true.
God forbid. I think they're the Broncos fans who have hoisted me up to this prestigious position.
Well, yeah, everybody is listening. You guys are cool, and we're sorry.
We will not offend anybody who's listening, but
I don't know. Maybe it's like because I'm a Sacramento Kings fan, and like I've never seen my team go to the playoffs since 2005. So I have a different perspective on things. I can handle losing, I guess, but who knows?
Hey, here's a question for you, Will. Who's the worst cousins, Kirk or DeMarcus?
Oh, they're both pretty. Kirk's playing right now, so
didn't DeMarcus
the better one? Towards it. Oh, and he threatened to kill someone.
That's what it was.
Yeah. What's worse, though?
That's what it was.
Yeah.
So, okay, this isn't on the rundown, but it's something I was thinking about. And it's not just Broncos fans. I think the media is somewhat responsible for stirring up shit that's not even real sometimes. And I think we saw that this week with Chris Harris, right?
Right.
I don't know how it got out there or whatever, but he said something about like 13 more weeks, and it was put in the context for us to consume that Chris Harris basically said 13 more weeks, then he's done with this shithole town of Denver, and everybody in Denver should fucking fuck off because he's done. Is not the exact words they used, but I remember seeing it and being like, man.
Brackets in the quote.
Yeah, I remember, like, I saw it, and I know you should always, like, try to figure out what was actually said.
Right.
But I was thinking, like, oh, man, Chris Harris, that's kind of a dick thing to do and say, and I feel like he's saying mean things about the Broncos, and I don't like it. And then
you could just mean, like, 13 more weeks, like, we've still got time this season to turn things
and I think he was like – it was like an argument between him and like another player, and everybody was just kind of pissed off because they lost another heartbreaking game.
Of course, yeah, they should be.
But it got fueled by being basically discussed by every Denver media outlet, and it was just like that loss again happening the same way.
It exactly mirrored the Chicago game.
Dude, it was just hard to swallow as a fan.
It was. It felt like, all right, now we're getting into a rhythm. You know, you get the early touchdown to Fant, and you're like, okay, we're figuring things out. This offense is starting to click. Like they said, it's going to take a few weeks to get things going. It's like, all right, it finally is. And they get the touchdown. Yeah, the touchdown to Fant. Yeah, one of those touchdowns to Sutton. So all of a sudden it's 17-3. Even at half, like, you know, Flacco throws the pick before half. It's like, all right, we'll still be okay. It's only 17-6, and then they just couldn't get off the field.
No,
couldn't get off the field, and that's once you give up a huge 11-minute drive.
Oh, that's a killer.
You go 3 and out. You are fucked.
Yeah,
you can't come back from that.
That's
why you give up 220 rushing yards, because can't get off the field in the first place, and your offense can't stay on the field.
Yeah, your defense is exhausted. The other thing that's always funny, and I've learned you can do this with any team, so, you know, feel free to explore this on your own. But not everybody, I saw many instances of people showing that some of the Broncos defenders may have been held on that Leonard Fournette 81-yard run. But that's like you can find that on any play almost. And I am much happier with the NFL
not calling holds
back on those holding calls.
Yeah.
Because if you look at that Leonard Fournette run, both Todd Davis and Will Parks missed tackles. They missed tackles every linebacker should make and every safety should make. It would have been I think a 7-yard gain if Todd Davis got him, and it would have been a 20-yard gain if Will Parks got him. So you can find excuses like that anytime you want. The problem was the defense probably just fucking exhausted, and then they gave up.
That was
play.
The problem.
And Leonard Fournette, not a great running back, but in a situation like that, he is almost a perfect running back because he's a big, strong dude who will just grind out a defense, and that is hard to stop in that situation.
Yeah, the Jaguars are their plan as a team kind of makes sense, you know? It makes sense because they've got Gardner Minshew, who's, you know, he's going to get a few big plays. Their defense ideally should hold up a little bit better than they did on Sunday, but that's a lot of that. Pretty much all of it is because they're picking on Jalen Ramsey's replacement. But they've got a quarterback that, you know, doesn't do too – he doesn't he's not losing you the game. In some cases, he's going to win you the game. He plays really well in the second half. And they've got a running back to wear down the defense. Like it's a formula that works, I think.
Yeah,
I think they'll be relevant this year at least.
Yeah, they're like a sneaky team, like a wild card team is what they could end up. And their division's stupid too.
Yeah, it's very stupid. Everyone's 2-2.
It's like it's the opposite of.
And I don't see anyone being that good, really.
No, every one of those teams has some big concerns.
I think. I mean, the best quarterback in that division right now is Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, and could be Deshaun Watson, but
statistically it's Brissett. But you could talk me into Watson too.
And Gardner Minshew is. He's getting overhyped just because like people love him.
Right. He played here and definitely our respect on Sunday on that last drive.
The thing about Minshew is he's a fucking gamer. And if he gets a chance to continue to develop as an NFL quarterback, I feel like he could be really good. But the first half was rough for him. There was pressure. He wasn't doing anything
5 times
special that first half. But with the game on the line, he led 2 drives that were impressive. And he did impressive things in those drives, escaping pressure and making throws. That's what like impressed me about him in that game, especially that the roughing the passer call where the ball was stripped. Mm-hmm. It bounces. Like he picks it back up, but then he completes the throw there. Joe Flacco's not doing that. You know what I mean?
No.
And Joe Flacco led another game-winning drive.
I think we should talk about that because people are kind of debating how much of this is on Flacco, how much of it is not on him, how much of it is on the defense. It's a hard balance to find because obviously like it's on him that he threw that pick before half and swung the game where it could have been 20-6 or 24-6 or 20-3 I should say 24-3.
And that pick looks bad because it was really just an overthrow, right?
Yeah, at a very bad time where you could have closed out the game. But all in all, like you look at the numbers, he was 3 touchdowns to 1 pick. And he had a pretty good yards per attempt throughout the game. But in big moments too, like where you want a veteran quarterback to realize that we have to stay on the field. He goes 3 and out. Yeah. So that combined with the pick rubbed me the wrong way. Obviously, like I do the Joe Flacco is the elite thing, and like it really hasn't been his fault. And
I think it's just the story of Flacco.
It is. It's bizarre. He is bizarrely clutch though.
Yeah.
Like at the very end, when it comes down to it, I trust him.
It's intangible. It's hard to like put your finger on it.
But like you watch him, he should be better.
Yeah.
He should be better.
He should be better. He is good at the end of the game.
Yeah, he's good when he's decisive.
But it feels like he is never going to give you those first 3 quarters that give your team an ungodly lead.
Right.
Like Patrick Mahomes is doing, like we saw with Peyton Manning in Denver. But as long as the game's close, you kind of feel like you have a chance with him, even though the everything has went the wrong way for the Broncos when they've had the chance. It's not ideal, but it's fun watching a quarterback you've heard that about your whole life. And now you're getting to see why there's always been this weird debate about Joe Flacco.
A lot different.
I don't know.
Yeah. They gotta run the ball too. They gotta run the ball more. Philip Lindsay was averaging 5 yards a carry and he only got 10 carries.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix the Broncos right now.
No. I think we've covered everything with the Broncos and the Jaguars. So
still don't have any turnovers. I mean, that's still an issue.
Yeah. They should think about changing that. Okay, anyway, we talked about Jalen Ramsey a little bit. He still wants to be traded. Didn't come back to practice. Still with that back injury, phantom back injury. He's also pregnant, as we know, and I think his ankle hurts.
If I'm Jalen Ramsey,
no reason to trade him.
I would stay. I would stay in Jacksonville. It's
Right.
not a bad spot to be in.
He demanded the trade, and after that, they've reeled off 2 straight wins. They're tied for first.
And you can be a difference maker as the bigger story.
Exactly. The reason it was so close last week is because they kept picking on his replacement. It's like, okay, what if he played? It's probably not even a game.
Yeah, like if you're a real competitor, that's the situation you want to be in.
Right.
Because
yeah.
The division is
tired of his shit too.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't trade him. I mean, you really shouldn't. Ideally, they wouldn't be in this situation, but I guess they are. Anyway, we've got
trade him to the Patriots for Tom Brady. Boom, done.
Why would you downgrade at quarterback? Yeah, he'd be the 3rd best quarterback on the roster immediately, and you can't argue otherwise.
Man, if they traded Jalen and Gardner to the Patriots for Tom Brady,
give him Foles. They want to keep Gardner.
I would become a Patriots fan.
Okay.
If Gardner Minshew was their quarterback.
Whatever you say.
Okay. Okay, so we've got London. London is happening, Will.
Yeah.
And the good news is the game is at 11.
Right. Well, 10 o'clock for me.
It's at normal viewing time.
Yeah, usually it's at they're doing it again next week on the 13th. And it's going to be 6:30 for me, 7:30 for you. 9:30 on the East Coast. So cool. Yeah. So I really hate the 6:30 games because I feel like I'm missing at least a half of football every week. Every week they do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's at 10. I think they should play this game in between. All right, here's what I want. You have your 10 o'clock games. You have your 1 o'clock games. You have Sunday Night Football. Push back Sunday Night Football later, and I want this game played in between. So I want Sunday Night Football on the East Coast to go until, like, I don't know, 2 in the morning.
Yeah, but wouldn't the London game be ridiculously late for them?
Why should we care about that?
Why should we do that math?
Yeah, they can have.
I get what you're saying.
And stay up.
I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. London has not really received the NFL's best. It has never featured a game with 2 teams who have a winning record.
Nope.
And I looked at the games that have been played there, and they have featured since 2007 the 0-7 Dolphins, the 0-6 Buccaneers, the 0-7 Jaguars, and the 0-7 Browns.
I will say that
it's almost a fucking curse to get that game.
That 0-7 Dolphins team is way better than this team that's 0-4. Do
the Dolphins even play there this year?
I hope not, for their sake. For international relations, I hope not.
This game is actually, I think, the teams may not have winning records, but I think Bears-Raiders game could be a decent football game.
Yeah.
There's at least some good storylines there.
Right. I don't think they care really about the Khalil Mack thing. I don't think they care who's playing quarterback for the Bears. I think they're just into a good game. Like, you got 2, like, well-known football brands in the Raiders and the Bears. So I think maybe that means something to them. Who really knows what those limey Brits care about? Yeah,
they
barely show. Like, they show up wearing like the wrong team's jersey half the time.
I'm mostly ready for a Khalil Mack going off on the Raiders type game.
I mean, we talked about it. Is this really a revenge game?
No, you brought up good points that he was lucky to leave Oakland.
Yeah.
And maybe John Gruden saw that and just wanted him to have a good life.
Set him free.
But I want to see him play
Go
really
on,
well.
get out of here. Go on. Go to Chicago.
You don't want to be here, son.
No, you don't want to be here. Keep on going. So yeah, decent game. I'm glad they get something that should be competitive, hopefully. It is funny. It is super funny that Vontaze Burfict had to fly all the way out there and then fly back for a total of I've done that trip from Oakland or San Francisco all the way to England, and it is a cool 11 hours each
That
way.
that is you don't want to do that.
No, especially not back-to-back. Just ruin your ability to process time.
I guess we haven't really – I mean, we made fun of the Vontaze Burfict suspension. Bill Romanowski was pretty adamantly defending him, which is just really funny.
Not who you want in your corner.
Do you think the suspension is just?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I feel that way too. I don't think his hit was the worst one we saw over the weekend.
No, it's a lifetime achievement award.
Exactly. It really is. And from everything we've seen, Burfict has been a better person on the field, a pretty good teammate.
That's what everybody says about him. Like he's never had any problems off the field. He's a really good teammate. He's a good guy, but he just can't stop concussing people.
He has done some pretty dirty shit on the field, and the stuff he's done is not. It's all of it's not just like the incidental bad head. Like he's went after guys' knees. He's done. Yeah,
he tried to twist Cam Newton and Greg Olson's ankles when they were playing.
Yeah, like it's. He's probably maybe a little bit unfairly paying for past incidents, but
yeah, I mean, because like he suspended him in the past,
and he's given up a ton of fucking money. I think that's probably the part that's maybe a little fucked up. Is he's over $5 million in fines, and that number's got to skyrocket since he's basically got to forfeit it.
Right. Yeah, this. Money. I mean, kind of the underrated storyline is like this leaves the Raiders linebacker core really, really thin. Like that was not a position of strength to begin with, and he was a big part of that defense. And all of a sudden, they need help there really badly, and it doesn't look like they're trying to get Jason Kabinda back, who is kind of a storyline in Hard Knocks, so they cut and then signed with Detroit. I think on their practice squad maybe, and now they want him back. Who knows if that's going to happen? But
poor Brandon Marshall can't get a gig.
Yeah, maybe Brandon Marshall will get signed now.
The Broncos or the Raiders could have used some linebacking help, and
really,
he's not getting that shot.
Nope.
I think the Bears will win that game, though.
Yeah, I do too.
A defense as good as theirs for a big travel game like that feels like the advantage. But to be fair to the Raiders, because I do really hate them, they played a good football game against the Colts. So a banged-up Colts team, but I think the Raiders are going to be a team that for a lot of this season looks good one week, and then you write off the next week and the week after, then they look good again. Which probably means they're trending in the right direction ultimately, but I will
Should we go through these
them to die.
These player of the month awards here?
Oh, yeah. I just mostly – okay. So, NFC, offensive player of the month, Christian McCaffrey, Shaq Barrett, defense. AFC, it's Mahomes, offensive player of the month, and Devin McCourty, defensive player of the month. Mostly I wanted to get into talking about Shaq Barrett because I keep writing about this, and maybe you've seen it, and then I haven't discussed it in my episodes yet. But
we kind of have different takes on it, I think.
Well, like maybe. I get that Shaq Barrett wanted to start somewhere, right? Yeah. But seeing how well he's playing, it feels like a giant fuck up that the Broncos weren't smart enough to figure out a way to keep him.
I don't know. I don't think they could have. I don't think he just didn't want to do that because he knew he was a starter. He knew he wasn't going to start on this team. No one predicted that Bradley Chubb would tear his ACL in week 4. That's why you get guys like Malik Reed behind him that can hopefully take over in his spot. You draft a guy like Justin Hollins, so you can rush from the edge. So you can't pay depth that much. You just can't.
Well, I think that's the problem. My problem is the Broncos because of all of the coaching changes they've had, they haven't had a consistent person to be there to say, this guy is really good. He deserves more playing time. And I feel like, as somebody who has said, why is Shaq Barrett not getting more snaps last year and the year before, that an NFL organization should have realized something like that. Because I'm not that smart of a guy. I'm not a football, like, there's so much about football I don't know in terms of being like an actual football evaluator.
Nerd stuff that we don't care about.
But I know for a fact I have complained many times about Barrett not playing him enough. A lot like last year with Shelby Harris not playing as much as he should have been when he looked like the most dominant guy on the defensive line. Now he is in that starting role, and I don't think they have enough depth on the defensive line. And yeah, he's not that guy. And yes, you drafted Bradley Chubb, so he was a rookie last year, but he played like 98% of the time. And I just think a smarter organization would have realized Shaq Barrett's potential. And we saw that his rookie year. We saw it the year after. He was clearly better than Shane Ray. And the argument isn't whether or not he wanted out, because he really did. I just think a better organization would have kept him, is all I'm saying. And it's hard to say a guy's going to go on and look like the best fucking defensive player in the NFL. I get that. But I feel like he was a guy that –
yeah, it's 4 weeks, and he's not going to keep this pace. Although
no, he's not going to set all the – if he does, good for him.
It's possible, like he could, but I still don't think it's going to happen. It's only like 23 sacks.
The only part of me that's happy is the part of me that knows Shaq Barrett's going to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
and he deserves
I think
that.
Most people are just happy for him. And
I am pissed off as a Broncos fan that their defense is struggling, and if they had him, I feel like they would be better.
Okay, so I got a couple questions for you. Would you have rather they sign Barrett long-term to be the starter and use the number 5 pick on something other than an edge rusher?
Now, yeah, but that's hindsight. I was excited about the Bradley Chubb pick.
Okay.
And I'm excited about Bradley Chubb's future.
Going off of that, would you rather have Shaq Barrett or Bradley Chubb for the next 5 years, injury aside?
Next 5 years. Shit. I think Shaq Barrett will be more productive. But I think if you're looking at the Broncos long-term, you say Bradley Chubb, because I don't think the Broncos are going to be good for the next couple years. And maybe by the time they are good again, Bradley Chubb's kind of coming into his prime.
Maybe so.
Whereas Shaq Barrett might be getting a little bit older by that time, just because he's been in the league for, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, since like 2014.
But I really liked Shaq Barrett a lot when he was here. I thought he was an underrated player.
Yeah, everyone likes him because he's from Colorado State and he's an undrafted guy.
And he was good.
And yeah, he was good. He was
underutilized.
Extremely efficient.
Good. And I'm not trying to be like one of those annoying assholes who's like, I saw his potential. You know what I mean? Like that's.
No, I think we all did, really.
My point is, I don't want you to think I'm annoying.
Okay.
By saying they should have kept him, and I thought he was good, because I understand how complicated those decisions are. I just feel like it was a wrong one. I'm happy for him ultimately. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But it was something I wanted to talk about because we really hadn't done it yet.
Yeah, and okay, so we got hopefully another Shaq Barrett in Malik Reed, who got his first sack against the Jags.
That could be the upside here is
maybe
Malik Reed turns out to be really good.
8 sack season.
When Bradley Chubb comes back, then you have Chubb, you have Reed.
Hopefully Justin Hollins.
Von Miller, Justin Hollins.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I guess last year with the Broncos, Shaq Barrett, I think you could have him come in for Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. I feel like he's a guy who could spell both of those positions, and I feel like they should have been doing that last year, and they weren't. And
yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they should have. That's something that Kubiak did more, or Wade Phillips, I guess.
Yeah, that's
precise.
Wade Phillips. I think was better at keeping that rotation a little fresh, and I think maybe one of the biggest criticisms right now of Ed Donatel and Vic Fangio is the Broncos defense is those guys are playing a ton of fucking snaps.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're gonna you're probably not gonna take Von Miller off the field very often now. So
nope, can't.
As long as they don't drop in the coverage. Okay, we've talked about the Broncos enough. Last piece of news is the Pats signed Young-Ho Koo. Remember him, old Chargers kicker. It's the practice squad. And an AAF alumni, too.
Never missed in the AAF.
Right, perfect. And they signed Mike Nugent to the active roster. He last played with the Raiders in 2018. I think he's played since, I think he's been in the NFL since 2004, 2005.
Yeah, he was with the Bengals before. He kicked for the Bengals for a long time, right?
Yeah, Jets, Bengals. He's a career 81% kicker, so – Gostkowski to IR. I don't know if he was really hurt or they're just pissed off that he kept missing extra points.
Don't know. You never know with the Patriots.
Yeah. I don't think they – who knows?
I
feel like there's a rule where he has to be injured actually to go on IR. And
yeah.
Nope, we just don't want to cut him, but we're putting him in timeout.
Yeah, I'm sure he's hurt. He has a hip issue. Obviously, I think can affect your kicking. I love that they've been missing extra points. I hate that it hasn't cost them any games.
Well, it cost them a pretty big one.
It cost them the AFC Championship. We know that.
Yeah. We still would have won.
Now, I'm hoping Mike Nugent costs them a playoff victory at this point.
Let's hope so.
That's all we can root for, really.
Okay, do you want to get into the games?
Yeah, let's do the games.
Okay, so tonight, Thursday Night Football, you're going to be listening to this after most likely, so won't spend too much time on it. But we've got the Rams.
It's a good game.
It is a good game.
Man, that Thursday night game was so good, wasn't it, Will?
Yeah, no, I can't believe the Seahawks won just like I predicted.
Yeah, you were so right on your prediction of the outcome of this game.
Yeah, how did your prediction go?
Good too. I also picked the Seahawks, so
yeah, good job. So we both took the Seahawks, and we're both correct. The Jets play the Eagles at 10 in the morning on Sunday. Sam Darnold might play. He might play. Still stricken with mononucleosis.
He says he's just making sure he won't die if he plays.
Yeah, let's all hope he doesn't play.
I think that was his exact quote. I'm making sure I won't die if I play.
I got to be careful about dying on the field. The Jets are 0-3.
No need to rush Sam Darnold back.
No, there's no reason to rush him back. But at the same time, it's like an AFC that's so top heavy, and like that, those wild cards are so up for grabs right now. It's like no one's really out of it. Even the 0-4 teams aren't truly out of it.
That's true. That's the optimistic side there, Will.
It is such a weak AFC outside of the Patriots and the Chiefs.
I think
everyone's kind of got hope still.
Yeah. I think the Eagles win, though, at home.
Yeah, I'll take the Eagles, too. So we think they're going to advance to 3-2. Jaguars.
One of the better morning games.
The Carolina Panthers. Yeah, unfortunately, if you watch Red Zone, there's so many good games that you'll barely get to see any of because the NFL is dumb, and they staggered the schedule to put 10 morning games and 2 afternoon games on Sunday.
Yeah, it's insane.
Doesn't make any sense. I hate it. I'd hate it more if the Broncos weren't playing in the afternoon because when they play in the morning, you're just watching one game. You don't get to see what else is going on. So I like that. There's nothing else really going on when they play in the afternoon. Anyway, we've got Gardner Minshew versus Kyle Allen. Both are
playing better than you would have really imagined. Good.
Kyle Allen's still 3-0 as a starter.
Yeah.
Minshew's 2-1. You got someone behind you.
I don't see anything.
Oh. Does she want to make a pick?
You want to pick this game, Jess?
No.
You got the Jags or the Panthers? Who you taking?
The Panthers.
Jess says Panthers at home.
I'm taking
Defense is legit.
Because the defense is so legit.
She likes the Panthers defense.
I think you got competition.
You like that shirt, Will? Look at that. On brand.
I can't see it. Oh, yeah. Totally.
Old school.
On brand.
That's a good one. I'm taking take the Panthers.
Yeah, this is a tough game to pick because Minshew or Allen, and Minshew has a knee injury. I think he's listed as questionable.
They'll play.
Because either QB could cost them this game.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about how Kyle Allen can't stop fumbling.
He's got a fumbling problem.
He's got small hands.
Girl hands.
Yeah, he's got little baby girl hands.
I like the Panthers too. I think their defense is better, and I think Christian McCaffrey is more likely to play well again because he does every
player
week.
of the month.
And Leonard Fournette, that was kind of an anomaly. So, yeah, we'll both go Panthers.
Okay. Vikings at the Giants. Got Kirk Cousins and Daniel Jones. Both wear number 8. That's all I had to. That's all I came up with about this game. I think I might pick the Vikings because Kirk Cousins just doesn't lose in those morning games and can't win any other time.
Yeah, I'm going to pick the Vikings too, even though I'm on the Wayne Gallman train now. He might be banged up as well. I think there's a lot of shit surrounding the Vikings this week, and I think they have enough talent where they play really, really well.
Fair enough.
I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a good game.
Yeah, probably. It seems like every quarterback now, just whenever they have a bad game, plays well exactly when they need to.
Yeah, just to keep
it's really annoying, honestly.
Job.
Like Jameis Winston, Marcus Mariota, all those guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Kirk Cousins.
Who's the QB?
Speaking of one of those guys.
Yeah, Matt Ryan and the Falcons head to Houston.
Yeah. So my question is, can we have the Falcons euthanized? Can we have them put down? They're sad. They make me sad. They're 1-3. They're so talented, and they still can't do anything. I just want them. I want them gone. I want them done.
Yeah, they're going to win this week, and I'm going to pick the Texans.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to pick the Texans too. I can't take the Falcons right now.
Yeah, the Texans defense is good. So
let's say the Falcons go like 4-12, which they're on pace to do. What do they do? What do they do?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Quote unquote rebuild because they're pretty young on defense. You know, I think everyone agrees like Matt Ryan's not the problem, although he hasn't been playing well. Absolutely, Dan Quinn gets fired. It's not like you're like rebuilding to the point where you're getting rid of Julio Jones. It's like you've got a lot of young talent on the team, and that's the frustrating part. Is like you don't point to anything on that roster except for maybe the offensive line right now and be like, all right, they're really bad here.
Yeah, I mean it's
super talented and they still suck, which I guess is coaching.
God. Sorry, my wife is just ruining my life in the background here.
I thought she was going to do pull-ups.
Sorry, that really distracted me. I don't know what you do. Because they got rid of like a ton of their coaches, except for Quinn, right?
Yeah. Sarkisian's gone.
Who's their offensive coordinator right now?
Don't ask me questions I don't know the answer to.
Yeah, I feel like you give those guys time, but that's not how the NFL works. So
no, especially now.
You need an offensive play calling genius. They had one in Kyle Shanahan, and the problem is
head coach.
Everybody wants to be a head coach.
Oh, Dirk Cutter is their offensive coordinator again.
Oh, that's right. He was Tampa Bay's head coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Very anonymous head coach.
Dick Cutter, you bring him back?
Yeah,
I
Dick
don't know.
Cutter. Okay, so we got the Bucks at the Saints. Jameis went off for 4 touchdowns last week, which means he's going to throw 4 picks this week. I kind of want to pick the Saints to lose because it feels like they're kind of riding a high after that Cowboys game, and like Bridgewater's going to cost them a game eventually, I feel. But I don't want to pick the Buccaneers to play well 2 weeks in a row either.
Yeah, the Buccaneers have an actual defense to challenge them this week. You should have said that about the Rams, but they struggled, and sometimes that happens with the Wade Phillips defense.
It'll happen from time to time, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when it's not as talented as it was in his last stop.
Ah, man.
I'll
take the Saints.
I'll take the Bucks. All right,
take those Bucks. I'll take the Saints. I don't feel good about it because I totally agree that Teddy Bridgewater is playing just good enough for the Saints to barely win.
Eventually that's going to –
And he took a lot of bad sacks in that Cowboys game. Yeah. But I think New Orleans, their defense is actually really good.
It is.
So – yeah, give me the Saints.
The teens or the 20s. All right, Bills at Titans. It is a rematch of a game from 1999 that they're playing on NFL Network this weekend. The Kevin Dyson thing. That was probably a forward pass.
Yes.
Almost definitely a forward pass. It doesn't matter, though. So, yeah, I'd be worried about Titans fans getting mad at me, but I know there are no Titans fans. So I'm taking – it really depends on who's playing quarterback for the Bills, I think.
I think it's going to be Barkley.
I'm going to take the Titans.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Titans too.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a little air let out of Buffalo's quick start, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I feel like Mariota's going to struggle against the Bills' defense, but Tennessee also has that kind of defense that whether it's Josh Allen or Barkley, it's going to be an ugly game. It's going to be an ugly game that nobody pays attention to, but probably a lot of good football happens, defensive football.
Yeah, which is not good football.
Okay, so we both take Titans?
Yeah, we're taking the Titans. Cardinals at Bengals.
Somebody's getting a win, Will, unless a tie.
Unless a tie. Maybe not.
I'm going for the Cardinals to get their first win.
I'm taking the Bengals. I took them on Monday night last week, and they played just atrociously.
Yeah, Andy Dalton will play. He's probably going to play really well.
Yeah, he'll probably just have – they've got enough players to I don't know, pull one out against a team as crappy as the Cardinals.
They are at home. I'll stick with the Cardinals, though.
Okay. Patriots at the W-word Redskins.
You did that wrong.
Oh, did I do that backwards? My bad. All right. So the question here is like they put in Dwayne Haskins last week against the Giants. He didn't play very well, although he didn't have anything going on around him either. So they're not sure who they're going to play in this game. Case Keenum, Colt McCoy, or Haskins. I think you have to stick with Haskins, even though he's playing the best defense in the NFL. He's playing at home. It's really stupid to put him in the first place if you're just going to be like, no, I don't have confidence in you against a good team. So we're going to put in someone else to get hammered. Yeah, you have to keep Haskins. You have to.
I say you play Haskins. I think a lot of people are like, is Jay Gruden sabotaging Dwayne Haskins by playing him? What fucking world does that make sense? Like,
is the what, like the 9th or 10th?
You mean the first round draft pick you brought in to become the franchise quarterback? Like, letting him play, even if he's got shitty guys around him. If you're gonna be that guy, you got to do some impressive things. And
Exactly.
you're not going to do it on the side.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get sometimes QBs learn shit, but I don't know how playing a guy is sabotaging him.
It's like you're losing either way. It doesn't matter.
What kind of fucking dick would Jay Gruden be? And he might be. I don't know. But
I don't
like,
think he wanted Haskins in the first place, which is the sign of a very poorly functioning franchise.
yeah, it's
should sell. I mean,
even if he didn't want Haskins,
so depressing at this point.
he doesn't have his guy there. He's not a Case Keenum guy. He's not a Colt McCoy guy. He's got nobody. He has no.
Apparently, he is a Colt. He's like a big Colt McCoy guy.
Oh, is he?
Gruden, yeah.
Maybe because he's a Gruden, that makes. I'm just debating with myself at this point. Maybe, well, he is a Gruden. Maybe he's all in on Colt McCoy. Just wants to revive his career. Well, he would never do that.
That's the new first take. Is just you debating yourself.
That would be a terrible show.
Yeah, but think of the money you'd save.
It's true.
Or
I'll pick the Patriots here. And
I think we're taking the Patriots. Taking the New England Patriots.
Then we've got Ravens at Steelers. Steelers are back from the dead after beating a bullshit team. And as Will wrote in the rundown here, can the Steelers keep up this bitch-ass offense?
I don't think so. Not against a more confident team like the Ravens.
No.
I know we said their defense played very badly, but I don't think they're going to play as badly as the Bengals did. The
Steelers running so much Wildcat is almost as weird as the only team that would be stranger to see would be the Patriots running a bunch of Wildcat.
Yeah. I mean, the Steelers basically ran the Chiefs offense against the Bengals, although, Mason Rudolph ran it a little better. But it artificially inflates completion percentage and a quarterback's stats because those all go to this quarterback when he did the little flip to the guy in motion.
Yeah.
Such bullshit.
Rudolph
he was
still
17
only had,
for 18 at some point.
Yeah, Rudolph still only had 2 passes more than 10 yards.
Right, which is the same thing they did against the 49ers.
One was a wide open touchdown, and then the other was actually a really good play and throw by Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, maybe.
But it might also – I think it was a tight end. It was Nick Vanette. It was also a little lucky. It was a great play, but it was a little bit lucky.
Nick Vanette, who they traded for some reason. I guess that's why.
So they could beat the Bengals.
Yep. You had to get that one.
I'm going to say – oh, man.
I'm taking the Ravens.
Yeah, me too. I want the Ravens.
Okay, Bears at the London Raiders.
Oh, yeah, we kind of already talked about this. But
yeah, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We'll just pick the game. I'm going to take the Bears.
Me too. Bears. Trubisky won't be playing, I don't think.
Probably not. So we're going to see Chase Daniel again. Is there any difference? Probably not.
No.
Not too much. I mean, Trubisky's got a higher ceiling. He can have bigger games, but he's also not going to,
If you're a Bears fan, you don't feel bad about Chase Daniel starting.
No, not for a couple weeks.
Like when Bubby Brister was there for the Broncos.
Right.
Segue, Broncos versus Chargers.
Yep. Melvin Gordon is back, and he'll probably start.
Yes. He was active last week.
Yeah.
Only because the Chargers, I don't think, had enough healthy players to not activate him.
Yeah, really. Because Justin Jackson was hurt. Austin Eckler, turns out he's pretty good.
Still good.
But I think they're a better team with Melvin Gordon.
Gordon and Eckler, that's a great running back duo.
Yep, so the Broncos always beat the Chargers at least once. Just about. Are they going to do it here?
Man.
I can't pick them, but I still Is
this game in LA?
Yeah, but who cares? Who cares? Because the crowd's still going to be orange.
No, I know, but I mean,
it is in LA.
I'd feel a little better if it were a home game.
I would too. The Broncos came in here last season and got the win, a very upset win, one of the Chargers' 4 losses on the year.
I think the Broncos win.
Yeah.
We got to keep picking them to win until they do.
At this point, I'm not going to stop.
We owe it to them.
Yeah.
This is a winnable game, and because
it is,
the Chargers are a team that's barely getting by with a ton of injuries.
They really didn't play that well against the Dolphins last week.
No, and I don't think Melvin Ingram's playing. Or Melvin Ingram.
Yeah.
So
that's
you only have Joey Bosa to deal with.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're missing, obviously, Derwin James, Hunter Henry, and and another one is Russell Okung is not going to play, it seems like.
Yeah, he hasn't played all season.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's a good opportunity for Malik Reed on the other side to
yeah, the Broncos are close. They've been close to getting wins. I think they're going to get it.
That's the thing. Is like they're not known for a team. They're a 2-2 team that's just fucked up. So yeah, we're taking the Broncos. But yeah, sure, why not? Okay, the other afternoon game is the Packers at the Cowboys. This is a good game, and we're not gonna be able to watch it because we have to watch our shitty team. These teams have played a lot of close games recently. Obviously, you had the Dez Bryant game. You had the Jared Cook game.
Right.
Another game after that was also good. So we're expecting a good game.
Yeah, they're both 3-1, right?
They're both 3-1. Two quarterbacks that are playing well. I like it. Two good offensive coordinators, and Matt LaFleur, who's the head coach. I think he calls the plays, and Kellen Moore.
I'm picking the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'll take the Cowboys too.
And I don't want to. Don't want to. The Packers do have 10 days rest.
That they do. That helps. The Jaguars
I feel like the Cowboys are a better overall team.
The Broncos have already played two teams this season that had 10 days rest.
Yeah, that sucked.
And they lost to both of them.
Barely.
Late in the game. The Jags, I think that definitely played a factor. But yeah, off of that tangent, I'm going to take the Cowboys.
Yeah, I feel like Zeke Elliott's primed for a game.
Yeah, he's going to do something. Okay, Colts at Chiefs, Sunday Night Football. This could just be a slaughter.
Could be good, could be bad, could be a lot of things.
Could be a lot of things, and that's what we say about most games. All I can say is please, just Colts do something. Please do it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a closer game.
And we should say the Chiefs, they should have lost that game in Detroit. They really should have.
They should have. They're a tough team.
Questionable calls. Kenny Galladay probably should have had 3 touchdowns.
Probably.
And if he doesn't fumble, if they call that correctly, Stafford fumbles on the next play. They had another play that probably should have been whistled dead. Who was it? Breland took back for a touchdown that no one, just didn't blow the whistle.
It was a weird game. If you're a Lions fan, you got to be pissed off about that game.
But also encouraged, I guess.
Yeah. And the Colts, they played the Chiefs in the playoffs last year.
Yep.
With Andrew Luck.
Quarterback.
But I think that benefits them going into this game. Losing to the Raiders does not benefit them at all. But
no, but in a game without T.Y. Hilton, like we said, they're pretty thin at wide receiver, especially without Devin Funchess.
Is Hilton even going to play?
I think he's questionable.
It's a quadriceps injury.
Yeah.
Well, you returned to practice, so that's a good sign.
Good sign. I'm
going to take the Chiefs, but if T.Y. Hilton plays, I think the Colts have a chance to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Chiefs as well. I don't like. Yeah, it's hard to win there late.
It doesn't hurt. It hurts nobody more than Will to take the Chiefs.
It really does. It really does.
And then all of a sudden, we might have a pretty good Monday Night Football game. Will,
we've got a pretty good game in Santa Clara. The Cleveland Browns are 2-2 at the 3-0 San Francisco 49ers. I was looking up tickets for this game. I was thinking about going. So. Please convince me why I should go or why I should not go.
I vote you don't go because that means you will be less available to me.
It's fair. It's a good point. Also, it is so inconvenient to get to that stadium. I know you know because you've been there. I've been there a couple times. I went there last year.
Yeah, there's no good way to get to it.
No. You really have to take a train. You have to drive and you have to park. And you have to take a train to the stadium, and you have to walk.
Yeah, they didn't really.
You can't tailgate. There's no tailgating.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not allowed to tailgate.
Oh, that's stupid.
It's bullshit. Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. I guess they want to force people to buy more of their shit inside. Is that
probably?
Wow.
They don't want to clean up or anything. Yeah, Silicon Valley buttholes have ruined the 49ers. Candlestick was better. That's all I have to say about that.
Man, I don't know who to pick for this game, though.
I'm taking the 49ers. So the thing about the Browns is we were up on them before the season, then we were down on them after the Titans game, then we're up on them after they beat the Jets, then we're down on them after they lost to the Rams. Now we're up on them again.
Time to go down.
And they're just a case study in overreactions in the
Time
NFL.
to go down on the Browns.
Going down.
That's fair. I think the Browns are going to be – I think they're going to finish this season strong. And I think it's going to be because of their early season struggles. So I will pick the 49ers.
Yeah, I like the 49ers offense against the Browns defense.
See, and I like the 49ers defense to prevent the Browns from scoring 40 points and from Nick Chubb.
I probably won't do that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I think the Niners defense is a lot better than the Ravens. So
yeah, good defensive line against a bad offensive line as well.
Yeah, that's a big mismatch.
49ers line and the Browns offensive line.
Cool.
All right, so we're both taking the 49ers.
All right, so your boy Big TP, keep track of those for us on Twitter at your boy Big TP.
We will find a way to make it worth your while eventually.
Yes, we appreciate you tracking our picks.
If you want to like reach out to us or something, slide in the DMs. More than welcome. We'll figure something out.
Sorry, I just saw somebody tweeted. I was going to find your boy Big TP, and then somebody tweeted, at Brandon Perna is easily the worst, doesn't even have a real sports talk job. And that was in response to somebody who posted, who is the worst sports talk host in your city? He follows me, so I think it's a funny, he's trying to be funny, but it really just stuck me in the heart.
Yeah, irony does not translate on the computer.
Yeah. Some other guy got me last night too, but he was just trying to be a dick.
Chiefs fans.
He compared my show to Brink on HBO.
In that
it was bad and nobody watches it. That it was bad and nobody watches it.
I think we get more viewers than Brink ever did on HBO. I watched one episode of that. And it's a show you should like. It's got Tim Robbins and Jack Black, and it just sucked.
Yeah. I think I tried to watch it once. But
yeah, not great.
Anyway, that is how we end an episode of people saying mean things to me on Twitter, which doesn't happen that often, but when it does, I take it personal and I won't sleep.
Yeah. All right, well,
we did it.
Football.
You did it. Football podcast has concluded.
We've done another football.
Thanks for listening, guys and girls. One girl.
Yeah, at least
my wife.
Yeah.
We'll look for her cameo.
Yep.
Bye.